Hello traders, welcome back to the channel. This is Vishal and you're watching the weekly sectoral analysis. Well, at last it seems that the week has ended well and all of us will have a good weekend. We can see that the Nifty Futures have closed 1.5% up. Bank Nifty Futures have closed almost 2% up, and need not to say that special thanks to the PSU Banks that they have been able to rally just close to 5.5% up, due to which you can say the sentiment in the entire market changed suddenly and we saw such a nice pullback today. Well, before I get ahead in this video, I was going through a lot of messages in different WhatsApp group. One message which I saw was that in last 3 months, markets has come down from 19,000 level to close to 17,500, and the message was saying that this entire 3 months bearishness has been totally eradicated with just one day of bullishness. I mean, this was really absurd, which is actually, it is absurd because we haven't crossed 19,000 levels as yet. But generally we see people are extremely biased on the upside, which is really bad. So today we need to understand one thing, that have we hit a bottom? Has the bounce back which has occurred, are all the sectors participating? Does it really have the juice probably to give a proper breakout in Nifty or not? All these questions need to be answered today, correct? So let's go ahead with the video, and first, as usual, I'll be starting with the Nifty Futures monthly time frame charts. So on the right hand side, I have the monthly time frame chart. I can say monthly time frame charts are looking pretty okay. The trend is up, and you can see that the prices are just above the dual moving averages. Let's have a look in the weekly time frame chart. In the weekly time frame chart, you can see that the trend is flat. All right, RSI is looking okay, nothing great in that because we are still consolidating and the prices are trading between the dual moving averages, correct? But if you check properly, I'll just try to zoom out this particular chart. There has been a small hammer, correct? This is a decent small hammer. Now this hammer has come at a place where we have a confluence of support. Confluence of support means multiple things coming together and making that entire zone, making that entire band a very strong support band. So in this particular band, especially if you remember, a couple of days back, I had shared a video that 17,450 to 17,400 is a very good support band. And from there, a bounce back can come. And I had shared the probables level to be tested would be 17,600 and 17,700. Max to max, maybe 17,720. So we saw the first two levels got tested today itself. Okay. So this hammer has been built on a back of a trend line which is holding up since September 2020. So this is the first time when it was tested over here. I'll just try to highlight it for all of you so you can understand it better. This is the first time, this is the second time, and now this is the third time. Now, if you check properly, especially this second time, when it got tested, I think the levels were somewhere around just above 15,000 levels. From this particular 15,000 levels, we had close to 1,800 points rally in Nifty Futures. Okay. Now the question is same thing going to happen over here? Correct? This is what is going in the mind of every trader. Now, if we go to the daily time frame chart, there is one more thing which is providing proper support over here, and that particular thing is this 200 days simple moving average. You can see price was acting as a magnet near this particular zone. This is a 200 days simple moving average, and you can see the close on this particular day, means yesterday, was just 17,399.40. So just about that level, and from there we had such a sudden bounce back, and both of my levels were tested. And if you check properly, the reason for the bounce back was also one more thing, that yesterday when we saw a red day in the market, when markets closed in the red, we could see a lower close in the price, but RSI had made a higher low. So this was a sign clearly by the price itself that the momentum, that the power to go down is getting weaker and weaker by the Nifty Futures of the daily time frame chart. Now, till now, whatever I've shared with you are all bullish signs. So am I saying that bottom has been made and Nifty Futures will go higher and they're probably going to hit new highs? Many people were trying to, probably say this today. Well, I would say no. Yes, the weekly time frame chart is looking okay because the trend is still flat. The trend is still flat. No matter what support we have hit, no matter how the bounce back is today, the trend in the weekly time frame is still flat. Understand that. Yes, the bounce from where it is coming is good. Even the daily chart, 200-day simple moving average is a very good thing. But we also need to understand, my friends, we also have a resistance band between 17,860 to 17,750. This almost 100 to 110 points range is a resistance, and it will probably not be very easy to surpass it if a lot of indexes, lot of sectoral indices support and lot of heavyweight stocks support Nifty to go higher. Because if you see at the end, there has been some sort of wick which was left even on this day. So which is clearly signifying that yes, there is some selling over here and you can see a lot of selling coming, buying happening over here. So this buying was happening when this was a support. Now the same level has turned into a resistance. So what we need to understand is if Nifty Futures continue to go higher, say 17,750, 17,800, no matter what happens, this will just be a pullback mode. We have not started an uptrend in the medium term charts, which is the daily or the weekly time frame charts. We are just in a pullback mode. In fact, in the weekly chart, there is no trend itself. Okay. In the daily chart, the trend is still down, but we are still trying to pull back on the upside. And according to me, what we need to understand in the daily charts is, I'll try to highlight all the important points over here. This was the first high probably. Okay. This is the second one. This is the third one. This is the fourth one. So we have been making lower highs and lower lows. So we need to understand that as per Dow theory, when we'll be able to surpass this zone, 18,200 to 18,250, probably that would be the first sign. That would be the first sign that this is not a pullback and we are trying to start a really good big rally in the market. Till that time, yes, as a short-term trader, you can trade here and there, but you need to be careful. This is probably not the time to act extremely greedy in the market. All right. And many people have a habit of, सबसे पहले मैं buy कर लूंगा. कर लो भाई. No problem in that. But understand one thing, that when the pullback is happening, imagine over here. Just imagine, my friends, when this pullback was happening, if you had gone extremely bullish biased in your brain, not in the trades. And then when the sell-off started, and if you're extremely biased, you will be having two problems. One problem is that you will start seeing losses in your long trades. First thing is that. Second thing is, when the market starts falling, as a swing trader, you will not be able to initiate swing shots on the downside and try to make some money out of the correction. So you need to understand that. Don't remain biased. Again, I'm saying, yes, the pullback was pretty nice. Even I enjoyed it. But now we need to understand that we are near resistance. The real resistance area needs to be taken care of. It needs to be surpassed. I repeat, the levels are 17,860 to 17,747. And when this particular level, 18,150 or 18,250 levels, all these levels are taken off, then yes, we can say that some good things are happening in the market and maybe we are trying to start a new uptrend. So does it mean that I'm trying to say कि जब तक ये level surpass नहीं होगा, till the time this level is not taken off, do not buy anything? No, I'm not trying to say that. What the view which I shared with you was regarding Nifty. Regarding stocks, I'll obviously share with all of you now in the upcoming sectoral analysis. Let's talk about Bank Nifty Future. Now in Bank Nifty Future, you can see the trend is flat in the weekly time frame charts. You can clearly say, yes, this candle is okay, this candle is fine, but still we cannot say very convincingly that markets will just take off and we'll see a very big rally, because if you see a few weeks back, similar sort of candles were occurred over here, but again what happened, we dropped down and again now we are trying to come up. So we need to be slightly careful, and we need to understand that yes, this bounce back has been pretty nice. I completely agree to that. It has come from a same level. Plus, there is a 200 days simple moving average, which is acting a decent support. Yes, the price has not tested the moving average, but guys, in market, at times it can happen that the price can feel, or the price can, literally you can say the price can feel that the support is somewhere around, and before the price actually tests the support, the pullback starts in the market. And that is what has happened in the Bank Nifty future. Now we need to understand that this pullback has been pretty nice, pretty sharp, and this pullback started before it started in Nifty futures. But again, as we saw in Nifty, there have been multiple highs which have been lower than the previous one. So the last previous high was probably this one. So we need to take and surpass 42,250 on closing basis to probably 42,350. Then we can say something really good is happening in the market on the upside. Till that time, we are still in a pullback mode. Okay. Now let's go to PSU banks and private banks, and please pay attention because both these sectors are looking very different this time. Okay, generally this sort of difference doesn't happen, but this time it is. Now, if you check PSU banks in the weekly time frame chart, yes, this candle is exceptionally good, but the volatility in the weekly time frame chart, I think, is slightly higher. That volatility needs to come down. The volatility in the daily time frame chart is also pretty high. Some sort of consolidation over here would be good for the market, I could say. And you can see that there has been a small gap over here, which has been filled by the price. So I can say one thing, that overall PSU banks as a sectoral index in comparison to the private banking pack is slightly better. You can see that price in the daily time frame chart has not been able to test the previous high. But if you check in PSU banks, this particular high is able to touch this particular high, which means the previous high. And there are two stocks from my side. One is Bank of Baroda. You can start keeping a watch on this stock, not at current market price, but this stock needs some sort of consolidation, some sort of sideways move up and down. And then when it starts rallying, you can analyze this stock at your own end in your own personal trading system. This looks as a good candidate for a positional trade. Second candidate from my side is Canara Bank. Again, this is an exceptionally volatile stock. As of now, I'm not saying always, but as of now, the volatility is high. It needs to cool down a little bit. And then when it starts rallying again, you can keep watch on this stock and probably try to time this stock as a positional trade in your trading portfolio. SBI, I would like to stay away from that stock for time being. These are the two stocks which I would like to share with you. Again, these are positional picks for few weeks to for few months. It's not for a short-term trade for few days to few weeks. Okay. Private bank. Now, private banking pack in the weekly time frame chart, things are okay. They're not so bad, I can say, because the bounce back has come from the 61.80% Fibonacci retracement. But if you check properly, even over here, there have been multiple lower highs. And this particular high needs to surpass this high. Till the time this cannot happen, I will probably stay slightly away from the private banking pack. And yes, I can say the support level is strong, because you can see from the same level, prices have bounced back. Just around that level, there is a 200 days simple moving average, plus there is a 61.80% Fibonacci retracement. So the base is pretty strong, but some sort of momentum is required. That momentum is not still visible, which we saw in the PSU banks. Okay. So probably till that time, I would like to wait aside and see what happens in this particular sector. Autopack. Again, Autopack, I should say, in the weekly time frame chart, yes, it has been able to pull back itself due to this weekly time frame support band. And over here in the daily time frame chart, you can see this 200 days simple moving average has been able to provide a bounce back. Now, in this particular sector, only one stock I have my eyes on, and that is Maruti. The stock has been able to give a breakout, but after giving a breakout, it is still consolidating. As of now, there is nothing much to say in this stock, but the day probably tries to surpass this zone, not a level, but this zone of you can say 9,000 levels to 8880, and it tries to surpass this and surpass even this week, then a decent rally on the upside is possible. Until that time, I would not like to do anything in this stock. Metalpack. Metalpack, I guess, in the daily time frame chart, as I told last time, that when this lows were broken, you will be seeing further corrections happening in the Metalpack, which you did saw. And after this correction, there has been a sharp pullback. Now, in the weekly time frame chart, the trend is still down. This is just a pullback. In the daily time frame chart also, this is just a pullback. Two stocks from my side. One is Tata Steel. Tata Steel is around a support band, not exactly at that particular level, but around a support band. You can see if I put a Fibonacci extension over here, it has just been able to manage to bounce from this particular support level of this 104.55. Second stock from my side is going to be Hindalco. Now, Hindalco also has been able to fall pretty steeply on the downside. Now it is trying to pull back. This is a support band of 427 to 433. If the stock continues to pull back and consolidates over here, and after consolidates, it's not able to go higher, there is a possibility it will come lower again. So when it starts turning around, this particular sector can be seen as a candidate for swing short. But again saying, you'll have to be very, very careful about the stocks which you're picking. If you pick just any random stock in Metalpack, it's not going to work. Okay. So first stock was Tata Steel. Second is Hindalco. Third stock I have from my side is going to be JSW Steel. JSW Steel, I think it is at a 200 days a simple moving average, and probably at a resistance, a support in Fibonacci extension also. So a decent chance of bounce back is probable till the time 660 level is not taken down on the downside. When we see this pullback happening, probably when this pullback continues and you see the stock within this zone, again, it could become a decent candidate for swing short. But in comparison to JSW Steel, Tata Steel and Hindalco are more strong candidates for a swing short trade. Okay. And again, this is what I'm just sharing my view, guys. This is just my view. This is not a trade or anything. I'm just sharing my view. Please analyze at your own end with your own proprietary trading systems. All right. Pharma pack overall looks weak. Currently trading at nearly, you can see a support level. Couple of hammers are visible. So small pullback is possible in this particular sector. Sun Pharma, if you have a look at it, it has been able to correct much on the downside. A small hammer is visible on the lower band of the support at 964, 965. If this level holds on, if this low holds on, then a decent pullback on the upside is possible, which will take Sun Pharma till possibly 980 or even 995. Okay. Finance pack, I can say nothing great visible in the weekly time frame charts. It's just up and down. It is consolidating more or less. In the daily time frame chart, yes, I can say that bounce back is coming from the same level. Again, 200 days simple moving average. Decent setup, but again, you can see multiple lower highs, and this lower highs, till the time these lower highs are not taken off, I don't think this entire sector will look very, very attractive. But there is one stock which I would like to share with all of you, and that is PFC, Power Finance Corporation. Now, this particular stock is an extremely strong stock. Actually, this stock required to consolidate more, and then the rally should have started. But this is the strength of the stock. This is the momentum of the stock. You just see the way the stock is going up with big green large candles, and when it drops down, the candles are small. So this shows the inherent bullishness of this particular stock. I think as a positional trade, one can keep this stock and watch for the view of few weeks to few months as a delivery based trade. Keep a stop loss, keep your own targets. Again, I'm saying this is just my view. Please do not go on my words and do your own analysis at your own end. PFC looks to be a very lucrative opportunity over here. But as a sector, I could say I think things need to improve much before we see something really good happening in this sector. IT pack. IT pack, I think last week I told all of you that some sort of things which were visible over here was negative divergence in price. If you remember my last weekly sectoral analysis, higher highs in price and lower highs in RSI. And I think the prices were somewhere over here. So I clearly told that if the stock's correct in the IT pack, right, and if you're holding a positional trade, get out of it. And if the stocks comes down, okay, if the stock comes down and if not been able to buy these stocks, the IT pack stocks for a positional trade, and after the fall, if it start bouncing again, then you can use the same stocks for a swing trade, for a swing short-term trade. So there are two stocks from my side. One is TCS. One is TCS. It is hovering around this support band. You can see there is a hammer formation in the weekly time frame chart. So if there is a bounce back happening in the daily time frame chart, you can time this particular stock in a lower time frame chart, in probably an hourly time frame chart, or maybe even 30 minutes. You can time this breakout for a short term upside trade in the TCS stock. Second one is Tech Mahindra. Tech Mahindra, you can see what has happened is it has been consolidating. Stock has given a sharp pullback on the upside. Now it is correcting. Probably it needs to consolidate even more. Don't try to jump in the stock right now. Let it consolidate, let it flatten out the volatility. Once the volatility is flattened out, it gets less. And then when you see a spike later on, then you can probably time this particular stock in the hourly time frame chart as a swing trade. Consumption pack. Consumption pack, I could say that nothing much is visible. Only thing is we have a positive divergence and a hammer in the weekly time frame chart. So some sort of you can say relief rally, a short-term pullback is probable in the consumption back, but nothing much more than that. Infra pack. Infra pack, I can say that as of now, it's very difficult to say. As of now, it's very, very difficult to say. Maybe next week, next 4 to 5 days, or maybe a week later on. So the next 10 days are going to be very, very crucial for the infra pack. So let's wait and watch and let's find out what's going to happen ahead. Do not jump into the infra pack right now. Let's wait for a few days because we are at a resistance band. Either it will correct from here or else probably if it closes above this band, then maybe a fresh breakout could also occur in the infra pack. So let's wait and watch and let it happen in the infra pack. Let the price tell you what's going to happen and then we'll judge it. Okay. FMCG pack. FMCG pack, if you see properly, price is trying to move up and even a hammer is visible in the weekly time frame chart. I would try to look only at ITC because it's the only stock which is trying to go up. One can have a look at this particular stock as a swing trade in the shorter term time frame charts. I guess it requires more consolidation, but the reason for why the stock is going up because not many other stocks are showing really good momentum on the upside as ITC is showing. So you can keep this stock in your watch list. Realty pack. Now, realty pack is one sector I think which has been able to pull back really sharply, and the reason for this sharp pullback was also a sharp correction. Okay. Now it has been able to pull back and it is back at a very strong resistance band. Okay. You can also see an inverted hammer over here. So net, I should say this is a really good candidate for swing short. Wait for a few days, let it consolidate. If it starts falling, probably you will be able to see and find out few candidates for your swing short trade. One stock which I always keep watch on is DLF. All right. I hope it rallies little bit more than the risk reward ratio in this particular stock for a swing short will improve much more. Mid caps. One thing which I like about mid caps is that they have certainly been making lower highs, I'm sorry. But if you check properly, these lows have more or less around the same band. Maybe a little bit up and down is possible, but more or less they have been able to maintain that. They are not breaking these lows. This is one good thing. So in case if the entire market turns around, if the entire market starts to go higher, not just the PSU banks, entire market, then mid-cap stocks should not be missed. Keep a watch on this particular sector and also keep watch on mid-cap stocks. All right. So again, I would repeat myself that we are just in a pullback mode. We need to surpass the levels of 18,250, 350. Then only an established uptrend will be visible in the price. Uh, till now, we have been just in a pullback mode, and you can see we are very much locked in a range. Maybe on the upside, we can see 17,750, 17,700, maybe slightly higher if we go 17,850. And on the downside, we have 17,400. So basically, we have a very small range in which we need to understand the market is going up and down. So probability of making money is not very easy. But as a trader, you need to understand that you will have to remain very, very picky, very, very choosy in picking your stocks. Like I said, PFC for positional trades, couple of stocks I shared in PSU Banks, few stocks I shared in Realty Pack and Metalpack. So you need to understand this market is still very, very a market who is, this is a market basically for traders who can choose their stocks very properly and then initiate the trades. And also, this is a market for people who will initiate less trades. This is not a market where suddenly you pour in all your money and start trading aggressively and you will be making money. Because even in a sector where I'm sharing few stocks with you, if you check properly, I have not been able to share all the stocks. Why? The reason for that is even in a particular sector, all the stocks are not going in one direction. If the sector is bullish, like say for example, I told PSU Banks, then Baroda, Bank of Baroda and Canara Bank were looking bullish. SBI is still on the waiting list. Again, when I'm talking about the Metalpack, which is looking bearish, then few stocks were worth looking at, but maybe couple of stocks are not worth looking at. So you need to be very, very choosy. Keep your position sizing slightly less than what you always put in your normal trading, because this is not that market where you can trade aggressively. Wait for some time, let the clarity come, and then we'll probably be able to make money much more easier when we have a established uptrend or a downtrend. All right. So enjoy the trend, and I hope this video has helped you to understand how markets will move in the next few days. Take care, guys.